What's up guys, thanks for joining me on another video. Hey, so for this video we're going to be doing the LED conversion for the 300ZX side pods, which is your light control modules, and then your AC control modules on the other side. And then we're also going to be doing the LED conversion for your gauge cluster in the front. I got the last package in from the website where I ordered the LEDs, and I'm going to show you guys step by step on how to do this for your 300ZX. The problem is a lot of people don't know what to buy, and there's a lot of websites out there that give wrong information, so then you go ahead and purchase their LED bulbs and it doesn't fit, or you have to do soldering or all this other craziness. That's not necessary if you order the right parts. I mean, that's a way of doing it, but this is an easier way of doing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start a step by step. You guys could just follow along. I'll leave a link in the description on the bulbs and sizes I purchased, and you could just go ahead and follow the same route I'm going through it. All right, so here are the parts I was waiting on. These bigger ones that you see right here, these are the ones that are going to go into the actual gauge cluster. And I've used this brand before and they light up really well, so we shouldn't have any problems with them at all. All right. Now we are doing it on my 1990 300ZX, so your cluster is going to vary, because I believe this cluster only existed for the 89 and 90 version, and then they switched it over for the years after that. But it's all going to be very similar, and you're going to be using very similar sizes, because I've done it on my 91 and it was the same bulbs, the same LED bulbs that I purchased. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the GoPro on my head, and I'm going to bring this camera closer so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so the battery in my GoPro died about 15-20 minutes ago without me noticing it, because it's on my head. And I finished reassembling my whole cluster. So I'm gonna start from here, disassemble it, and then you guys go see all the steps involved in disassembling it. It's not that bad. And then you can see how many LED bulbs are involved, and I'll put the link in the description below to the website, and I'll put how many of each you need to get. All right. I am having one issue where, okay, let's see, that's working, the lights are working. This is the final product, kind of. Yeah, this is the final. I don't have like the fancy bezel in the background or like the polished rings or whatever, so this is just the red LED lights. Obviously you get whatever color you want, just make sure you get the right size. This pod is done. Focus in. This pod is done. This pod is not. So on my 91 300ZX, I got the size 5 of the Neo Wedge LED bulbs, and they worked fine. That was years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Ordered the same ones for this pod, but for some reason the diameter of the LED of the ones I just received was too big to fit inside of these. So what I did, I had to use the size 4, which I only had 5 of, because it was supposed to be 5 of the 4 and 5 of the 5. So I used those on this side, the size 4. I need to order more size 4s over here. I don't know if they changed the design in the last few years or such, but that seems to be the case. So I'm just going to order more, no big deal, but you get the gist of how it goes. All right. Before that, let's talk about the issue I am having, and that other people following this video won't necessarily have. My turn signal. My turn signals are not actuating anything. So my first guess was, okay, maybe those lights aren't working. The LED bulbs I put in there are causing some sort of malfunction. But then when I hit the hazard button, they light up just fine, because the hazard button it's on its own separate relay and fuse. Now I'm checked the fuse of the turn signals and it's not blown. So that means either somewhere at the front bumper or by the tail lights, I must have some sort of short going on. Probably an exposed wire or bad ground, but that's my issue. You guys should not have that issue. Alright, so we're going to start the disassembly. First thing you're going to do is you're going to unscrew these bulbs these screws right here. You're going to start with that. We're going to turn off the lights, turn off the car. Lights and car off. So you're going to unscrew those two. 1, 2. Me specifically, I have one because my clip over there is broken. This pops off. My cowl is broken and cracked. That's why it has that lump on the side, and when you put it on, it's like jutting up over here like that instead of sitting flush. That's again my issue, not you guys. All right, the next thing you guys are going to want to do is take off the side pods. There's screws underneath and then hooks at the top. Don't worry about the hooks, just unscrew these and the whole thing will just come apart. Same thing on this side, just unscrew the bottom ones, this thing comes off, and then we'll go from there. Let's start with this one right here. You're gonna disconnect all these little widgets. Just try to be careful because everything here is fragile. All these clips are fragile. The housing itself is fragile. All right. Next thing you're gonna do, these two screws right here, bam and bam. Just take them off. All right. This hazard button pops right off. Pops right off, and then you just put it off to the side. All right. Piece off. All right. This bracket right here, very important. This is your hazard switch, but this bracket, without this little metal bracket, you can't put your side pod back on. It'll just be dangling. Don't lose that. You would have screws down there. 2 screws. I don't have them. They're just gonna be Phillips heads, and then you take them off. And then, I don't know if you could see it. There's 1 screw right there in between these 2 broken ass columns. Take that off. And then it just comes off. Pull the cables through the back. And then you have your side pod off. Side pod holder off. That's it for that side. Repeat on this side. Now what you're gonna do is the brackets again, same deal. 2 there, these 2 bottom ones, and then that one right there, clearing up, come on, right there in the shadows, kind of. That's the one you want to get. Alright, what's next is these two top screws. Bam and bam. Just go ahead and disconnect those. Those off. Now the only thing left to do is this whole bezel right here. This whole thing. It's gonna pop off. Just gently tug on it, because I'm sure somebody out there might break theirs. Boom, that's off. Now, this is for you 90 and below guys. 90 and above, 91 and above. These lights right here are going to be incorporated in your dash, so you're not even going to have this thing. But for 90 and below, 89, just move it off to the side. You're going to have one screw right there and one screw right there. You have those two bolts off. This is going to be able to be moved. So you're just going to lift it up like a hood, and underneath pinch and disconnect the connectors that hold this to the harness. There you have it. The dash is off. Now in the description, I'll note how many of each bulb you'll have to order. All right. So that's disassembly for you. And then to put it all back together, just reverse whatever you just did. What I'm going to do is go ahead and do the LED pod switches and the cluster LED switches. All right, so here is my 1990 gauge cluster, right? So these are the ones you're gonna be swapping out. And I think this one as well. And then the other set you're gonna be swapping out are these right here. That's all you're gonna be doing for this. See, I have the manual AC controller. But for those of you who have a 91 and up and you have the digital, it's the same process, and it's the same bulbs you're going to be swapping out. It's just these four. So these four right here, bam, 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 bam. All right. I'd say the hardest part is getting these things out without breaking them, and then you'll probably have a hard time getting them out. But just be careful with everything you do. These plastics are over 20 years old. Just be cautious. This is your lights, cruise control and whatnot. Yeah, so you see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have 5 right there, bam. All right, pretty simple. The only thing you have to keep note of is that these bulbs from factory are non-polarized, if that's the right term. Correct me if I'm wrong. But basically what that means, it doesn't matter which direction you place them in. As you can see, I've already swapped these before. But this is not the color I wanted. These are just spares I had laying in the house, and I wanted a red LED color scheme. These are just white. So the factory ones, it doesn't matter which way these face, because they pop in and out of this socket. This is your bulb socket, this is your LED. Now for the factory ones, it don't matter if you place them like this or like that, because they're non-polarized. For the LEDs, it does matter, because they only get power one way. So when you put these on, oh, messing up already. When you put these on and put them back in, if they don't light up, all you have to do is take it out, flip it 180, and put it back in, and that should light it up. SuperbrightLEDs.com. I mean, this is all they do is sell bulbs. So we shouldn't have any problems with theirs, and I believe they have warranties and such. Pricing, I've probably spent maybe like, I think it was like $60 to $70 on all the bulbs I needed. And I know that could be a little pricey for a lot of people. So I actually found the same size bulbs, but not from superbrightleds.com. I actually found them from Amazon, and they're cheaper. They're probably a little bit cheaper quality, but you get more quantity. Like for the price of these, instead of getting one bulb each for the set price, I think they're like close to $5 for each one. Instead of that, you go on Amazon, purchase the same bulbs with the same brightness, and you'll get like a pack of 20 or so. So even if the quality is a little down, you'll have spares. So I'll link both of them. I'll link the super bright LEDs, and I'll link the Amazon ones, so you have an option on which ones you want to go, but they'll be the right sizes and everything, so you don't have to worry about any of that. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, as you can see, you know, it has the product number up here and all that, but I'll go ahead and leave the links in the description, or at the end of the video, but probably in the description, so you don't have to be like pausing the video and zooming in and being like, oh, what is that and all that. You know, I'll take care of that for you. All right, so I ran into a small issue with these right here. These are the same ones I ordered before for my 91, and they were supposed to be going into these right here, which is the light control module, but they weren't fitting. The plastic, this plastic right here seems to be too big a diameter to fit in there, even though these are the same ones I've ordered before, because I looked at my purchase history from years ago. So maybe they changed the design a little bit. So these are not going to be working for me or for anyone. What I did figure out was that the other size, this size right here, fit into the slots where these were supposed to fit. So basically what that means is I need to order more of these and none of these. So in the description, I will put how many of these you need to purchase, so you don't end up buying these like I did, because they must have changed the fitting size in some way, shape, or form, because they no longer fit. So you're going to be using these throughout for both sides, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, rather than 5 and 4. All right. I got everything plugged back in, and we're gonna light up. So you got red right there, red here, and red here. So we flip it over, and we can actually see which ones are working. Well, I can. I don't know if you guys are able to see that. So I can tell that top one's working. This one doesn't seem to be working. And these two bottom ones are working. So the ones that are not working seems to be this one and that one. So what we're gonna do is gonna go ahead and flip them. It's running. All the bulbs are running perfectly right here. You can't see it from there. All the bulbs are running perfectly, and we're good to continue. Right here, the number 5 size bulbs are not fitting in here, so I need to order more of the number size 4 bulbs to fit in here. So this section of the video is not going to be done, but it is what it is, so I'm not too worried about it. And we got the gauge cluster in and functioning. I'm probably going to end the video here. This part, this thing right here, that thing right there is always breaking. If you have a Z that thing's not broken, you're lucky. That thing is always breaking. It's a pain. So I try to glue it back together. I mean, ghetto fix it, whatever you could do, because that part that's broken holds this bracket, and this bracket holds your cluster stable, along with the screws here and on that side. So yeah, if you don't have a broken one, you're good to go. But yeah, that should be it for the video. Check out the description. I'll put the link to the website to order the bulbs, and I'll put how many you need of each. And yeah, that's about it. Alright, so that's it, guys. I'm gonna end the video here. If you found this video helpful and you were successful with your LED conversion, just go ahead and if you can, give the video a thumbs up and a share. That'd be great. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you can go ahead and subscribe, and I greatly appreciate that. Let me know when you guys think about the conversion down below. If you're one of those electrical gurus and you know what might be happening with my turn signal levers, you go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'd appreciate that as well. All right, guys, take care.